In this e-learning tutorial, we are going to learn about the files in Python. So today's agenda is we are going to learn about the text files, how to opening a files, how to close the files, the file object attributes, writing to a file, reading from a file, so how to rename a file and how to delete a file and some of the file related methods. We are going to see about the one by one in detail. So text file. So text file is in a computer is used to store the related information or related data. So it holds a specific name for itself in the computer. The files are used to store the data permanently. That is, we can say it as a in a non-volatile memory in the hard disk. The RAM is a volatile memory, which means it loses the data when a computer is turned off. The files are used for a future use of data by permanently storing them. The files are divided into text files and the binary files. The text file is simple and it is in a human readable format. So whereas the binary files have the binary data which could be understood by the computer. The programs maintain their data by simply reading and writing into the text file. Suppose if you when there is a need to read from or write into the file, we have to first open it. So once reading or writing is done, we have to close the file in order to release the resources. The order of file operation in a Python is to be as follows. That is, opening the file, perform the operations, that is, it can be a read or write, and closing the file. So how to open the files? The Python has a built-in open off function is to open the file. Here it takes the two parameters as an argument, that is a file name and the mode. The mode in the sense we have the different modes of opening the file, such as R, which indicates to be the read, and it opens the files only in the read only mode. Then A means it is going to append into the file and open the files for appending and creates a file if it does not exist. W means it is opening the file in a writing mode, and if the file is exist, it overwrite the existing file, otherwise it could going to create it into the new file. The next one is an X is going to create the specified file and returns an error if the file is to be exist. T means it is a text mode, going to create it in a text mode, and B is a binary mode. So we are going to access the mode can be specified to open the file. It can be a read, write, or append, or whatever it may be. So these are all some of the different access modes that can be used. So the default mode is the for opening the file is the R mode, that is a reading mode. Now what is the syntax for opening the file? Here the file object is equal to open of file name, then in bracket we are going to specify the access mode. What is going to be the access mode? The file name is the name of the file. Here I have specified over here, an access mode in which we want to open the file. It can be a read, write, or append, or whatever it may be. So here I have given some example. So F is a variable, and we are going to give the open of the file name is text file dot text. So here I have did not mention any access mode. So defaultly it can be taken as a R mode, that is a reading mode. And F is equal to open of comma RT. So RT in the sense so R for reading mode and T for text. Make sure the file should be exist, or else it's going to be shows an error. This is an example for opening the file, whereas I having the text file as a text file dot text, where I have contains doc content as a welcome Python. Here I am going to open a file. F is equal to open of text file dot text comma, or I have mentioned here it is in reading mode, and f dot you have the method called as a read. So it's going to read the file and it's going to print as a, well, whatever the file which is contained here, it is a welcome Python. The welcome Python is going to print. The next one, suppose if you want to specify the in which colon that you have specified, in D colon or some other folder which is available, so we are going to specify it like this, and we are going to specify the access mode, and the same way is f dot read off. So this is a way that we are going to opening the file. See here the next example that I have, f dot read of 7. So the read of 7 means it going to read only the 7 characters in the file. So from this file I having the 7 characters as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So only the welcome will be gets printed. So that is the, so it returns only the 7 characters in the file. Then f is equal to open of D colon, the same for f dot read line means, suppose if you having the multiple lines in the text file, here what it's going to do is only it reads the first line, that is the read line. F dot read line in this sense it's going to read only the first line in the first line will be gets printed. So this is called as an opening the, how this is a way that we are going to open a files in the Python. The next one is how to close the files. So the operations are performed on opened a file is finished and we need to close the file. So this can be done by using the close of function. Here is the syntax for how to close a file. The file object dot close of. The file object in the sense here it is so this we call it as a file object, that is f is equal to open of, I have opened a file called as a text file dot text, where I have been read it in the accessed in the read only mode. Here I am going to print only the read line, in the sense I am going to read only the first line, then I am going to close the file, that is this object dot close off. So this is a way that we are going to close the file. The closing method will close the file instantly, so it is not safe when you are performing some operations on the files, and an exception occurs the code exists without closing the file. So it already shows the try finally block. We will learn some of the exceptions more in detail in the next tutorial. The next one is file object attributes. Once a file is open and a file object is going to be created, the various pieces of information about the files are gathered by using some predefined attributes. Here we having the 4 types of attributes. First one is called as a file dot close, means it going to returns a true if the file is closed, otherwise it going to returns to be the false. Then file dot mode, it will return the access mode in which the file is going to be opened. The next one is a file dot name, it will return the name of the file. Then file dot soft space means it will return a false if the space is explicitly returned with a print, otherwise it going to returns to be the true. The next one is how we are going to write it into a file. So after opening the file, we have to perform some of an operations on the file. So here we are going to perform the write operations. So in order to write into the file, we have to open it in the W mode. Because in this mode only the overwriting proceeds in the case if the file is already to be exist. So the write of method is going to enable us to write any string to be in the opened file. Here is the syntax, the file object dot write of the particular string. So the content that we want to write to a file is passed as a parameter to the above syntax. Here is an example. See, F is equal to, now I'm going to open a file which is could be opened in an access mode is a write mode, that is in W. Then F dot write of my first line is in the particular file my first line. Then I have given the slash n means I'm going to the next line. F dot write of, it is the second line. Then I'm going given here it is a double n, so double enter will be given, and F dot write off contains the third line, and also I have given another n, and I'm going to close. At last I'm going to close the file. So when I'm going to print this document, so it will be the my first file, second line, and contains the third line. This is an output for the text. Now the test dot text contains this file. This file has been written it into it. Now how we are going to read from a file? So in order to read from a file, we must open the file in the reading mode, that is in the R mode. So there are the number of methods available for the reading. So if you're going to use a read of size method, that is read of size method, which is going to read the data specified by their sizes. If no sizes is provided, it will going to end up with reading to the end of the file. So reading from any file, it could be done by using the read of method. So the read of method is going to enable us to read the string in a opened file. So this is the syntax, the file object dot read of and the particular size. Here I am going to open a file first in the reading mode, and f dot read of 5 means is going to read the 5 characters, and f dot read of it's going to read all the characters which is present in the file, and f dot read line means it's going to read only these first line, and I'm going to close the file. So this is a way, these are all the different types of way that we are going to read from a file. So how to change then, change the current file cursor position using the seek-off method. Using the seek-off method, then tell-off method is going to returns the current position in the number of bytes. The read of size method is going to read the data specified by the sizes. If no sizes is provided, it is going to end up with reading to the end of the file. Here I have opened a file in read only mode. Here if it tell means it's going to return it. I already said you it is the current position. It going to return in number of bytes. So some of the text is available in text.text file, whereas it returns to be the 56. This is a sample example. Then seek of 0 means the cursor is going to place a position in the initial position, and if I am going to give some of the position as 10 or whatever it may be, the cursor is going to place it in the 10th position or what the position that I have given. The next one is how to renaming the file. So renaming a file in the Python is done with the help of the rename of method. So the rename of method is passed with a 2 argument. One is the current file name and another one is a new file name. So this is a syntax of using this os.rename of here the current file name comma new file name. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to import this particular OS, import os.rename of so this is the current file name is available here. So test file dot test, I'm going to rename it as a sample file dot the text. This is a current file and this is a new file name. So this is a way we can able to rename a file. The next one is we are going to how to delete a file. It will be done with the help of the remove of method. Here it takes the file name as an argument to be deleted. The syntax is os.remove of the particular file name, and I am going to import this OS and I am going to specify this d colon sample file dot text means it going to remove this particular file in the particular directory. Then some of the file related methods that is available in the Python. So these are all some of the various methods which is going to manipulate the files. The first one is a file.close. After performing the operations here, we are going to close the file. Then file.flush means it flushes the internal buffer memory. Then file envo means it returns the integer file descriptor. Then file dot is ati means it returns a true if it is connected with tty hyphen like device, otherwise it is going to return to be the false. Then file dot next means it returns the next line from the file. Then file dot read of size means is going to returns the number of bytes from the file. Then read line of size, it reads the entire one line from a file. Then read line means it reads until end of the file using the read line. It returns a list of the lines to be read. Then seek means it's going to find changes the current position. Then tell means it's going to returns a file current position. Then truncate of size, it truncates the file. Then file dot str string means it's going to write the str string into the particular file. Then file dot write line of sequence means it write the sequence of strings into the file. So these are all some of the various methods that we are going to manipulate in the files. So in the next tutorial, we are going to learn about the directories and exceptions in the Python. Thank you. To know the latest videos, if you not already subscribed this channel, then please consider subscribing right away. Behind to that, press the bell icon to receive the notification of latest videos. Like, share and your comments. Thanks for watching.